Hey guys, it's Brie. So today I'm going to be talking about menstrual cups that I think are good for using when you're doing some kind of active sport. For me, it would be dancing, could be gymnastics, could be horse riding, could be running, could be swimming, could be anything. These are the cups that I think are pretty good because they have a good shape that likes to hold even through strenuous activity. So the first menstrual cup I have here is my trusty Linette. Now, I use this Linette quite a lot. It's not actually my favourite to use for sport, purely because it is resistant, but I always seem to find that I get a tiny bit of leaking with it, and I always need to wear backup for it. But it's really, really comfy, and I love wearing it, and it's so easy to insert. But it is just a little bit on the soft side for me for using when I'm in sport. I think it might be to do with the rim in this particular case. Just, I'm not quite sure I fully trust it for when I'm dancing. I do wear it a lot of the time for dancing though, it's just because it's such a comfortable cup. But it's not my absolute favourite in this particular instance. But it does work, and it is good as an overall cup, so if you have it for every day, it will probably work for you absolutely fine through sport. But the next cup I'm going to show you is actually my Femme cup. I'll just grab the little packet it comes with. Femme cup. The reason I picked this cup out for being good for sports is because even though it's very soft down here, it has a firm and a large rim, and this rim will stay open pretty easily, and that means you can do a lot of sports with it and it will stay open really well. So it's a good one, especially if you have strong pelvic floor muscles. Only downside to this cup is that the holes are quite low, so it hasn't got as great a capacity as some other cups. It's probably got about 12 ml capacity. But if you're not heavy and you're only going to do an hour of sport or something, then it could be a great cup for you. The next one is one you very rarely see on my channel. It is my Moon cup. I never ever wear my Moon cup now just because I had such a scare with it the first time I used it. But it is a very strong and firm resistant cup, so it works great for sport, and it will work great for sports, especially if you have very strong pelvic floor muscles. It's got some killer resistance to it. I mean, seriously. It's virtually impossible, I think, to crush this cup. So if you have very strong pelvic floor muscles, definitely a cup that you should consider. Again, like the Femme cup, it's got a pretty prominent rim. Doesn't hold as much capacity-wise. A little bit more than the Femme cup, I'd say about 14 or 15 ml. This is the smaller size, size B. But it's definitely a cup you should consider. The next cup is the Lady cup. Now again, the holes are slightly lower on this cup, so you won't get as much capacity, but the Lady cup is very firm, and it's slightly softer down the bottom and firmer at the top, and this is good for sports because it means the cup can bend down here but tends to stay open more easily at the top, so you're less likely to get any kind of leaking, and that's really good. Plus, it comes in lots of pretty colours, and I really do like it. It's got some interesting grip rings that I find kind of hard to remove, and it is definitely difficult to get this cup out. It forms a very strong suction, and that's what's so good about it with sports. But as I said, this video is for, good cups for sports, and this is definitely one of them. So that's another option for you to consider. My next one is the Ruby cup, which is kind of odd because the Ruby cup is quite a soft cup. But the thing is, for me, I'm quite small down there and quite tight, so the cup is very wide, and it does mean it stays open pretty easily. Even though it's got a reasonable resistance to it, it's kind of on the softer side. The shape of it makes it stay open much easier. So I've never had an issue with this cup being crushed like that. But if you have very strong pelvic floor muscles, this probably isn't the cup for you for sports. It's a nice material, lovely silicone, can hold quite a lot as well, up to 20 ml, which is more than most of the other ones I've shown you so far. So it's a good one for capacity wise, but if you've got very strong pelvic floor muscles, might not be the cup for you. And finally, my favourite cup for dancing is my Yuki Cup, because this is a very strong resistance cup. It has a pretty prominent rim actually, not too prominent that it would hurt, but just, just the right amount of prominence there for it to open up easily and stay open. And because it's so firm and it's got great grips, you're never going to struggle to get it out. So it's good for both a beginner cup because it will go in and open easily, and it also forms a strong suction. I have had a little bit of leaking with this cup in the past if I use a lot of lubricant around it. Some of the other cups there, the only other one that leaks for me is the Linette with exercise. The others tend to stay pretty leak free, but again, this one will be leak free as long as I make sure I've got it up and open very well. But this is definitely my favourite cup at the moment to use for dancing and sport, but that might change in a while. So this is the smaller size, and it's also not the classic Yuki, it's the soft Yuki, because the classic Yuki is even firmer than this. So if you have really, really strong pelvic floor muscles, then I would definitely suggest you get the classic. Here's a comparison between the Lady Cup and the Yuki. You can see Yuki is pretty darn strong there. So yeah, I hope you found this video helpful, guys, especially those who are active. You're always asking me about, you know, best cups for certain activities. Most of the time, a menstrual cup that you buy for your everyday life will work perfectly fine for sport, but if you have a particularly active sport, or if you've been active for a long time and you know you have very strong pelvic floor muscles, you might want to consider getting one of these cups because they're good for stronger pelvic floor muscles. But thanks for watching, guys. Please subscribe, and I will talk to you later. Bye!